Buried deep in the heart of the Grand Canyon lies an oasis of turquoise streams and majestic falls. The Havasupai Reservation in northern Arizona holds mainly rough terrain, these beautiful waterfalls, and the village of Supai, where most tribal members live and work. Every day, from February to November, the tribe allows as many as 500 visitors to set up camp between an iconic set of waterfalls, Havasu and Muni. But in this otherworldly setting, there is an ugly and horrible reality. The horses. Every day, these horses and mules are overloaded with heavy packs, coolers, and other supplies, then forced uphill to the trailhead, 10 miles, where they are reloaded with new packs and supplies. Or even worse, left all day in the blazing sun, then often forced to run the 10 miles back to camp without water or food at any point in the oppressive Arizona heat. These are not isolated incidents of abuse, nor are they the result of ignorance or poverty.
I started SAVE in February of 2016. I was living in Flagstaff, and I was just fed up with continuing to hear stories from people who had been down in the Havasupai Reservation and what they had seen regarding the pack animals. It is in part an economic strategy, the way some of these wranglers operate, because it is easier and cheaper to just replace their horses, so they just work them to death. The tribe makes millions of dollars off of tourism. Their health care, education, and law enforcement are all provided by the federal government. And there are only about 400 people living. My understanding is it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 40 families. Where does all the money go? It certainly does not go to caring for these animals.
This abuse is long-term, over 40 years. It is ongoing and systemic. It is torture and deliberate. This abuse by some tribal members has been overlooked by tourists, excused by apologists, and ignored by adventure travel companies who make their money on the literal backs of these animals. Havasupai's popularity with tourists has skyrocketed as travel writers ooh and ah over the waterfalls. But more trips mean more abuse of more horses, donkeys, and mules. Most tourists ignore the animals' plight. Some just look the other way. Others are ignorant of what they see, while travel writers say nothing about abuse in their blogs and magazines. The appalling pain and suffering these pack animals endure every day must not go unnoticed by anyone. Their wounds are not invisible. The blood dripping from their bodies is not invisible. It spatters the trail to Supai. These pack animals need everyone to notice their suffering and act. They need every witness to speak out, making formal complaints to the Bureau of Indian Affairs and to the Havasupai Tribe, as well as contacting SAVE. The solution relies upon the public. Anyone considering a trip needs to be aware of the abuse, knowing that using the pack animals makes tourists an accessory to the crimes committed against these helpless animals. Travel writers who suggest the use of pack animals or mention it without mentioning the abuse should be held accountable by the public, as well as adventure travel companies who profit from abuse and do nothing to stop this suffering.
So the solution is actually not very complicated, and there are people and organizations to help provide the education and the implementation. SAVE in our mission statement has outlined the steps necessary to run a reputable packing operation that puts the health and well-being of the animals first. Simple things like using breakaway knots so that if something goes wrong, everything can quickly be released. Any responsible packer uses this type of knot. Instead, the Havasupai use something called the come-along method of tying animals together. This method causes animals to be choked if they can't keep up or they fall. Whole strings of horses have fallen to their death from this alone. We need people to get really angry about this and let others know the facts and not use the pack animals under any circumstances. The fix is available and actually exists in the neighborhood in Grand Canyon National Park that runs a packing operation. Those horses are happy, healthy, they're walking, and they're not carrying too much weight.
The horses and mules are not the only recourse for heavy supplies and packs. There is a helicopter service to Supai 4 days a week. With public pressure, that service could become an easily implemented, better alternative. Longer-term solutions, such as a tram system, are possible. And there are successful, humane models for using pack animals in the Grand Canyon that should be implemented by the Havasupai Tribe. The price of someone's glamping experience is paid by the horses, mules, and donkeys. In beatings, starvation, dehydration, injuries, and inexorably, death. They should not suffer for your vacation. For more information and ways you can make a meaningful impact, please visit havasupaihorses.org. Campers must practice responsible tourism. Please do not use the pack animals. If you can't carry your gear, don't go. SAVE and all its supporters know that this abuse will not end until the tribe and others who profit feel a negative economic impact. Make them feel it. Everyone in a position to help stop this abuse must feel the pressure from you. Havasu Falls is a death camp for pack animals. Help us bring change at havasupaihorses.org.